Can you take 3 steps and turn it into a profitable content empire? We are going to answer that question in just a moment. On to episode 86 of the Content Profit Show. And I always begin by thanking the fans and the listeners and the supporters and etc. for making this what it's become. We started off with 1 show in September. We're now at 4 and seriously looking at going to 5, and it's because of y'all. So thank you very much. We've got a great guest over here, Lonelle, who I'll introduce in just a moment. Now, those of you that are watching on the jeffherring.com/86-2 page, my website, over to the right are 2 big buttons. One of them is about how to get on the show. Okay, so you can check that out as well. Now, I told Lonelle we were going to do this, and I tested it on her, and she liked it. So maybe you guys will like it too, because we're bringing back, another thrilling episode of What's on Jeff's Desk. Okay, and I'm just going to show you one thing today, and I call them my politically incorrect peanuts. Okay, and I'm super excited this week because they were 2 for 1 at Publix this week too. So let me show them to you. Okay, you're wondering why are they politically correct? I got to get them in front of the camera. There we go. They're red skin Spanish peanuts. Okay, so we've got cultural appropriation here at least twice. Okay, the redeeming thing is 7% of the protein comes from plant-based protein, so I guess that's good. But anyway, as I told Lonelle, you guys know I couldn't even spell PC if I had to. So on to the show. Lonelle helps parents fortify their children. This is really cool, you guys. Fortify their children against the forces in the world that would hijack their identities, their personal growth, and their spiritual development. I love what you do, Lonelle. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive into your article first. Okay. We'll come over here, and you and I will be pushed off to the side, and we'll bring everything up here, starting with your article. All right, 3 steps to raising prepared children in dating, relationships, and sex. I love this. Don't worry about teaching your kids about sex. MTV will do it for you. It's true though. They will. Mm-hmm. And this is not just now. The entire talk that my father had with me about this issue occurred while I was getting into the limo for my honeymoon. Okay, and I won't even repeat what I can say what he said. He goes, "Make sure you make her feel good too." Like,
oh my goodness.
Thanks, Dad. Got it. And so it's even worse now. But back then, other than movies and music, there wasn't all these forces pressing on kids. It's crazy. And, I used to be a counseling psychologist. Half my practice were teenagers. And, now with my volunteer work, they're almost all teenagers. And so I hear things, and I'm so glad you're doing this. So let's take a look. Oh, what a great picture. I love it. All right. Overheard the sarcastic remark. I love it. And you remembered it.
Yes.
Wow. Teen mother, 25 years as a single parent. Wow. And you've narrowed it down to just 3 steps. That's a lot of life experience there, Wow.
It is.
Relationships, dating, and sex talk opportunities. First step. What I really like, and everyone kind of noticed this. I want you to notice that Lonelle is spelling out each step, and at the end, she's going to list each step. Okay, you could do that at the beginning or the end or both. See, that's being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's being a kid. I found it. You know how Facebook sends those reminder photos? They sent me this morning one of Caleb, my youngest, when he was like 12, with some friends on a camp out. And he's sitting in a chair with the woods and the camper behind him. and he's whittling. Okay. The caption is "Summer as it should be," but folks are saying, "Why are you letting him look at a cell phone while he's out in the woods?" I went, "That's not a cell phone. Look closely. It's whittling." But it struck me that they expected that in the picture, right?
Yeah.
Here's a kid being a kid. I love it. Well, you started early. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Uh, that's perfect for what you do, though. You
Mhm.
know, no one can ever say to you, "Well, you don't get it." Okay.
Yes. It's very true.
I mean, working with the kids I work with, and especially when I ran the drug treatment program, I won't go into detail, but none of them could say you don't get it. I got it. Second step, proactive approach. Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, and it's funny how in little things you can be proactive. Both my sons are taller than me now, and my youngest is taller than my oldest. Um, I remember going through crowds at the mall or the theater or even church, and them being in front of me and saying, "Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please." People would turn around and look for who was saying it, and look at their level, and then look down and go, "They said that."
Mm.
Yeah, they do, because I'll beat them if they don't. All right, third step. Oh God, do it without shame. Oh, you are so in my ballpark with this. Because I've worked with so many about that. The difference between being ashamed, I did something wrong,
Mhm.
and shame, I am something wrong. It's
Mm.
huge, right?
Yeah. It's a great distinction.
I love this. I'm not sure about the lime green pants, but all right. Might lose his man card over that. All right, so here they are. This is what I like. Um, Begin teaching earlier rather than later. Take ownership with a proactive approach, and replace shame with dignity. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, there is so much we can do with these three things, and I'm betting that you didn't share everything you know about
No.
this issue in those three things. Yeah, but there's lots behind it. All right, so um, while I was doing that, did I ask how you got into this?
You did not.
I did while we were talking. So
Yes.
please tell us how you got into this.
Well, I told Jeff that I've been a sports and medical massage therapist the last 13 years and did get very burnt out 5 years in. And at that same time, I met my husband, got married, didn't have to be the breadwinner anymore. And for a number of years since then, I've been trying to figure out how to take my practice online or just start some sort of online business where I could leverage my time a little bit better, still be a presence in the home. And it's been an iterative process. I got into the relationship space last year. And then just recently, it's been revealed to me that this is actually where I belong, helping advocate for the parents, advocate for the kids. And I don't know why it wasn't more obvious with all my history, but I've needed that journey to figure that out, and it
Yeah, yeah.
feels very good to
You
be
were
here.
being prepared for this for a long time. That's for sure.
It's an
Um,
understatement.
I I understand. I understand. All right, 3 steps to raising prepared children in dating, relationships, and sex. That's the article. Okay. So we're gonna look at some traffic first. Um, I'm proud of you. This is your first article on Medium. Good start. You're 100% ahead of 90% of the people.
Okay.
And we'll help you add some stuff. So Medium traffic, email, webinars if you want to do them, social media, of course. Substack is sort of the one that's trying to take over Medium, and they've got some things that are better than Medium about it. So my goal is to get it get as good at Substack as I am at Medium, because if you're fishing for fun, you can have one line in the water. But if you're fishing to eat, you want to have as many lines as you can. So that's another line. So we'll be including more of that as I get proficient enough to say, hey, do this. All right. So first thing that this just screams for is short-term coaching programs.
Mhm.
And that could be one session. Okay, that could be a handful of sessions. I recently coached two of my private clients on putting this together, where you pick out something you can teach or a skill you can teach in 20 minutes to one person. You invite five people, like you could have five parents or five kids for that matter, because I used to run teen groups and know how well that works. But five parents and teach, like, what would you teach? What one specific thing would you teach a parent or a couple about parenting in 20 minutes?
The different ways to start the talk with your kids.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
the talk prompts. I love it.
yes,
Yeah,
the talk.
and it doesn't start back in my day. Okay, cool. And so, you invite five people in. You can have more, but you're giving each of them 20 minutes. So, that's going to end up with intro and outro and in between about 2 hours, 90 to 2 hours. And so I'm real big on anti-burnout. So I don't want people doing this for 5 hours. Anyway, it's an easy thing to get people in. Parents especially, because despite what we're led to believe, most of them care and would be willing to do this. 37 to 47 bucks for the whole thing. You do 47 bucks at five people, it's 250 for 2 hours work. Not too shabby. And then you can just continually raise it. 97 is, what is that? 97 times 5 is 500. Move it up to 197. It's 1,000, just under 1,000. So it's a good way to do that. It's also a good way to give parents and or kids a flavor for how you coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it's really easy to set up because, all you need is Zoom or StreamYard and a way for them to give you money. And then they come on and you got to do some talking about confidentiality and making this a place to be okay. But it's really one of the easiest ways to do this. I stumbled upon it. I wasn't even doing this full time yet, I don't think. Maybe it just started back in 2007. And I invited five people onto a group. This is teleseminar days too. And it was about optimizing your website, right? And I did that without looking at a website. I mean, I was looking at theirs, but we were on a teleseminar. Charged $150 each. And, 2 hours later, it was like, I think I'm hooked on this. So kind of like you, I understand about the burnout because I was a counseling psychologist in one form or another for 25 years. And I didn't know what that was taking out of me until I was no longer doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
So next step, mini courses and flagship courses. Courses are a small course, of course. I didn't mean to do that. Flagship courses are like something you're known for. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, becoming known for these three things, dating, sex, relationships. It's funny. Our pastor, Andy Stanley, wrote a book on that called The New Rules for Love, Dating, and Sex. And he has this little rule he goes by with people. And he was doing Q&A at the end of one of these. He showed up and he advocates when you're out of a bad relationship, give it a year before you get in another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked him, why do you suggest people take a year? And his answer was, because I don't think I could get them to take 2 or 3. So you could, of those three things, this could become a big course. And then once created, then you can take each module, like one on dating, one on sex, one on relationships, and teach it as a separate module, right? That drives traffic to this one. Okay. So that gives you, this gives you one immediate product and a whole lot of others on topic. This
Okay.
gives you one big one, and then however many modules you have, you do that. Um, then short-term continuity. Continuity refers to being, paying monthly.
Yes.
And so the reason short-term is recommended is that people still have that resistance against paying monthly. They feel like they're trapped. Maybe they got caught in the Columbia House deal way back in the day. Um, and so this can be like, for you with those three topics, you could easily have like a 7-week um, short-term continuity. The reason I like short-term minimum is it gives you 2 months to bill, gives them 2 different months to pay you, and there's a reason for that. I'll talk about in a second. And so you could do 7 weeks and do 2 sessions for each of those 3 issues, and then do a wrap up. And if you can do 47 to 97 a month. The cool thing about it is it sets up people doing a membership, a monthly membership, because that comes next.
Okay.
And they've already paid you $47 2 months in a row. If the membership's $47 a month, the ongoing one, well, just keep doing what you've been doing. Easy sale. I have toyed. I'm really excited about you doing this because I have toyed with the idea of doing parenting stuff, doing couples stuff, doing teenage coaching stuff for the 17 years I've been doing this, because it's still in here, and I just never have gotten around to it. So I'm glad you're doing it. And so monthly continuity, 47 to 197. The difference between short-term continuity, this is monthly. Right? And, there was another guest in the Content Profit Seat several weeks ago. And her niche was burnout. And we were trying to come up with a cool name for it. And you'll appreciate this. We came up with burnoutology. She's a burnoutologist.
Clever.
And I understand about that world. And so when I help people create monthly continuity, I focus on 2 things. One is I focus on the service delivery that you got to do, and then the service consumption that they got to do. Okay. Because, 17 years ago when I first started, the more you gave somebody, 87 PDFs and 2,000 videos, the more valuable it looked. Now it's like, get to the bottom line, get me in and get me out. So if you did once a month training on one of those 3 things, dating, sex, relationships, whenever I say those 3, I keep wanting to say, and not in that order. You could do like a training a month, okay, and then a Q&A a month. The next month, do it on the second topic. The third month, do it on the third topic. Recycle that 3 times, and you've done a year.
Okay.
You're not going to teach everything you know about each one in each training. And people that were even in let's say it's a year and you're starting the cycle over, but people have been with you for a year. Some of them were not ready to hear that last time. Now they are. And you're going to have a lot more people in there too. So you can recycle a whole lot. So what we've got here is, however many of these you wanted to do, and then these courses, and then, I'm so tired of the word funnels, but a profit pipeline or an ascension model where you go up. Right. About a quarter of the people that take short-term coaching programs end up in your monthly.
Okay.
About a third of the people that take courses end up in your monthly. And about half of the people that do short-term continuity end up in the monthly. So these are all good feeders. And then we've got a little extra one to be created later that we'll figure out, as you go along. and one of the options could be, if you want to do some private coaching, with folks, and you may or may not want to do that. I do some. So there you have it. Does it make sense? And do you have any questions?
It does make sense. I appreciate like the possibility you've shown here and illuminated for me. I don't know that I have any questions other than the short-term coaching programs, the frequency that you might suggest.
Okay. Well, you get to pick. I mean, the ones I've been talking about are one-shot deals. Okay. Now, you could take that same concept, 5 people, okay, and do it over 5 weeks. And each week, one of the 5 people are focused on. And one of the things you'd have to be sure to do in the beginning is talk with them about, okay, you're not, in focus on this session, but you're going to learn from other people. You're going to learn from the group. Really, you're creating a mastermind here. So you can do it, just one, or you can do it across 3 to 5 sessions. If you're doing it across more than 5, I would, charge them monthly. Again, to get them used to that. The main difference between short-term coaching and short-term continuity is the number of people involved and the access to you. There's going to be more access to you in the continuity and a greater number of people involved, because essentially you can have 10 people in there or 100 or 1,000. You're going to be teaching the same thing.
Yeah.
And now that doesn't mean every one of those people will have access to you, nor will they want to, but some will. And if you do it live, like I like to, you have the Q&A and the interaction and stuff. So that's the main differences. And again, we're starting here at a free article, Driving Traffic, and it's incredible to me how well this system works. Way back in the beginning, Easing Articles was the one that we got the most traffic from, and they were good, but that was then. And Medium is like all the things we dreamed about for Easing Articles, and then ones we didn't, and then you got all this other stuff. So, and you're in a niche. I've been doing some of that background research for you on Medium. You're in a niche that's just there's so many people in it, and we'll narrow it down as we work together. But there's so many people that you can reach, and so many people that you need to reach or need reaching, and you have a niche that unfortunately, well, 2 ways it's fortunate, 1 way it's unfortunate. I'll direct towards your niche reloading. There's always going to be people to work with. The good reasons are people are always going to be getting married and having kids. Okay? The third it's a negative one. I think things are going to get worse before they get better. And so there's people that need you. Their kids need you. And that's one of the things that excites me for you and for working with you is what a huge difference to make.
Yeah. Right? Thank you for seeing that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited for you. So, like I said, 20 minutes goes by awful fast.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing great content and for being a great guest.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
And folks, thank you guys for being our guests as well. If you want to be a guest in the Content Profit seat, that box is right next to where you're watching this. And it's now towards the end of June, and we're filling up for August. So if you want one, get one. Again, thanks, Lonelle. And folks, thank you for being here. And as always, go use this stuff. And we're going to catch you on the next show. Oh, and by the way, the next show tomorrow, I'm doing yesterday I did one on the problem of procrastination. And tomorrow I'm doing its cousin, the problem of perfectionism. And, the warning is I want to piss off a lot of perfectionists. So brace yourselves. All right. So until then, go use this stuff, folks.